What if the single most famous piece of career advice in the world is a trap? What if those three words you've had plastered on posters, coffee mugs, and the back of your own mind, follow your passion, are not a key to a fulfilling life, but a blueprint for anxiety, burnout, and a deep, lingering sense of failure? Think about it. From the time we were children, we were asked that terrifying question: what do you want to be when you grow up? The pressure was on to find that one true, magical thing. Your passion, with a capital P. It sounds so romantic, doesn't it? The painter in a sunlit studio. The entrepreneur changing the world. The chef with a beloved little restaurant. We're sold a story that passion is the spark, and if you just have the courage to follow it, success and happiness will follow. But I want you to think about the other side of that story. The person who loves music but can't pay the bills. The one who is passionate about art but now hates the pressure of selling it. The person who feels utterly lost because they haven't found their one true calling. What if the problem isn't you? What if the problem is the advice itself? Today, we are going to dismantle the cult of passion. We're going to follow the trail of broken dreams it has left behind and uncover a different, more powerful, and far more reliable path to a life of meaning and mastery. A path that doesn't start with passion, but ends with it. But to understand the way out, we must first descend into the trap. And the first level of this trap is the most dangerous because it's disguised as a virtue. It's the myth of the predestined path. This is the second and more painful trap, the passion poisoning. Let's say you defy the odds. You actually have a clear passion. You love playing the guitar. You love graphic design. You love baking. You take the leap. You decide to follow it. What happens next is a psychological bait and switch. The thing you once did for pure joy, for flow, for self-expression, suddenly becomes your source of income, your identity, and your measure of self-worth. The hobby that was an escape from pressure now is the pressure. That gentle, loving passion is now shackled to your rent, your reputation, and your ego. You no longer bake for the joy of it. You bake to get a 5-star review. You no longer write for the catharsis. You write to get a viral hit. You no longer design for fun. You design to please an algorithm. The hobby becomes a job, and often a very stressful, unreliable one. The thing you loved now causes you resentment and anxiety. Psychologists have a term for this: the overjustification effect. When you start getting paid for an intrinsically rewarding activity, your motivation can shift from internal joy to external reward. And if the external rewards are inconsistent or critical, it can kill the internal joy altogether. Pause for effect. This is the great, unspoken tragedy of the follow your passion model. It doesn't just fail those who can't find their passion. It also betrays those who do. It takes the very thing that lights you up and risks extinguishing it under the weight of commercial pressure and expectation. You started with a love for something, and the process of following it systematically corrupts that love. But the traps are even more intricate than this. There is a third, final layer to this prison, one that ensures that even if you escape the first two, you'll still feel like you're failing. This is the trap that keeps you comparing your behind the scenes to everyone else's highlight reel. Let's call the first trap the destiny lie. This is the idea that somewhere out there, a perfect preordained passion is waiting for you, like a spiritual soulmate for your career. Your job, according to this lie, is to search the world until you find it. This creates what psychologists call a fixed mindset about passion. You either have it or you don't. But where did this idea even come from? It's not some ancient wisdom. For most of human history, people didn't follow their passion. They followed the family trade. They followed necessity. They followed what their community needed. The modern concept of follow your passion can be traced in large part to a series of motivational speeches and self-help books from the late 20th century. It was a seductive message that sold millions of books and filled thousands of seminar seats. It was packaged as rebellion against the drudgery of the corporate world. But here's the sinister part. It was a message that placed the entire burden of fulfillment and success squarely on your shoulders. If you're unhappy, you just haven't found your passion. If you failed, you didn't want it badly enough. It pathologizes normal struggle and makes dissatisfaction a personal failing. Think of your mind as a garden. The destiny lie tells you to spend your entire life wandering the world, searching for the one perfect, magical seed that was meant for your soil. While you're searching, your garden remains barren. You look at other people's blooming gardens and feel a deep sense of shame. Why can't I find my seed? What you aren't told is that most beautiful gardens aren't grown from a single, mythical seed. They're cultivated. They are built, plant by plant, from seeds that are readily available. The destiny lie keeps you searching externally for a magic bullet, and in doing so, it paralyzes you from taking the small, meaningful steps that actually lead to fulfillment. But the damage doesn't stop there. Once you believe you've found your passion, the second, more cruel trap is sprung. The third trap is the suffering Olympics. When you're following your passion, struggle isn't just struggle, it's a test of your devotion. This mindset creates a perverse culture of competitive suffering. You're told, if you're not struggling, you're not passionate enough. You burn the midnight oil, you sacrifice your social life, you endure financial instability, all while plastering a brave face on social media with the hashtag hustle. You look at the successful people in your field, the famous chef, the acclaimed artist, the tech billionaire, and you see their passion. What you don't see is the complex, often boring, and frequently lucky path they actually took. You see the glorious finale, not the 20 years of grinding, learning, failing, and adapting. You compare your chapter 3 to their chapter 30. And because you believe passion should be enough, you interpret the inevitable struggle as a sign that you're not cut out for it, that you don't have the real passion. This creates a vicious cycle. The more you struggle, the more you doubt your passion. The more you doubt your passion, the harder it is to persevere through the struggle. The follow your passion model is brutally binary. It's either a glorious success, proving your passion was real, or it's a failure, proving you were a fraud all along. There's no room for the messy, non-linear, and utterly normal process of building a career. It ignores the critical, boring, and unsexy factors that truly determine success and satisfaction. Things like viable business models, market demand, and most importantly, skill. So, if follow your passion is a trap that leads to forget following passion. Let's talk about building it. Passion is not a pre-existing object you discover. It is a symptom, not a cause. It is the beautiful, emotional byproduct of three other, more fundamental elements coming together. It's the flower that blooms after you've tended to the roots. The real formula is this: passion equals mastery plus impact plus autonomy. Let's break down this blueprint. First, mastery. This is the deep, satisfying pleasure of getting good at something. It's the carpenter who feels a surge of pride in a perfect dovetail joint. It's the coder who solves a complex problem. When you get better at something, you start to enjoy it more. You enter a state of flow. The work itself becomes rewarding. You don't have to be passionate about accounting to start. You just have to get good at it, and the passion for the craft can begin to grow. Second, impact. This is the feeling that your work matters, that it helps someone, solves a problem, or makes something better. This is what connects your work to a sense of meaning. The data analyst might not have a childhood passion for spreadsheets, but when they see their work is used to streamline a charity's operations and feed more people, their work becomes infused with passion. And third, autonomy. This is the feeling of control over your work, your time, and your direction. It's the ability to make decisions and see them through. When you have autonomy, you feel like an owner, not a puppet. This ownership is a powerful fuel for engagement and, yes, passion. This is the great inversion. Don't start with a burning passion and hope it leads to mastery. Start with curiosity. Get good at something useful. Find a way to make it matter to others. Gain control over how you do it. That is how passion is forged. It's built in the doing. It's crafted through competence. So, what does this look like in practice? It means a fundamental shift in the questions you ask yourself. Stop asking the dead-end question, what is my passion? Instead, start asking these three builders questions. What can I get better at? Look for something that interests you even slightly, that has a market, and that presents a challenge. It doesn't have to set your soul on fire. It just has to be mildly interesting and useful. Commitment to the process of mastery will generate the heat later. How can I make this useful to others? Shift your focus from what do I want to what can I contribute. Impact is the bridge between solitary mastery and meaningful passion. Who can you help with the skills you're building? How can I gain more ownership? This might mean negotiating for more responsibility at your current job, starting a side project, or simply reorganizing your workflow to have more control. Fight for autonomy. It is the soil in which passion grows. This approach is liberating. It takes the immense existential pressure off your shoulders. You are no longer a knight on a hopeless quest for a holy grail. You are a gardener. You are a builder. Your job is not to find, but to cultivate, to build something of value, piece by piece. The focus shifts from a frantic external search to a calm, internal process of growth. You stop waiting for lightning to strike and start learning how to create a fire. So where does this leave us? Should we all abandon our dreams and become soulless accountants? No. The balanced conclusion is this. Passion is a wonderful companion on a journey, but it is a terrible compass. The world's most fulfilled people are rarely the ones who blindly followed a feeling. They're the craftsmen. They're the ones who chose a craft, committed to getting better at it, found a way to make it matter, and earned their freedom within it. And one day, they looked up and realized that the work had become a passion. The love was not the cause of their success, but the result of their dedication. Stop following your passion. It's probably right behind you, waiting for you to build something worthwhile first. Start with curiosity. Commit to mastery. Seek out impact. Fight for autonomy. And let passion be the beautiful, quiet fire that ignites in the wake of a job well done. I hope you enjoyed this life-changing video. Do like this video and subscribe this channel to get daily valuable knowledge from us.